want to see if I've actually?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've actually gone through that process.
I feel like I remember seeing your name in there, but.
Yeah, I don't remember doing it now that but I could be.
Okay, welcome everyone. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm Renee, the PTO president.
Mike, PTO vice president.
Alana, treasurer.
Shelby, membership.
Tracy, secretary. Rebecca, associate teacher rep.
Jesse Rasmussen, puts.
And if everyone could take a couple minutes to read over the minutes from last month in November, we can do a first and second motion for voting.
First motion.
Okay, thanks, Haley. Second motion. Jen, thanks. We're gonna have you vote on the pieces of paper, yes or no, for approval, and then we'll collect those. Thank you. Thanks, Shelby.
How are you?
We're just gonna take a look at those really quick. Okay, that was unanimously passed. Thank you. We're just going to review our upcoming events and also thank you for donating to the Giving Tree. We were able to provide a lot of gift cards and gifts to families at Jewell through FAN, so thank you. We have a Barbie movie night at Tower Theater. You can reserve free tickets online. And it looks like I did not put the date on there, but I will look that up and tell you. It's a Friday, the 23rd at 6 p.m. And then we have our own Lotteria and movie night on Thursday, the 29th, so the week after that here at the school. And then Penny Wars coming up the first week of February, and a tour of the town at El Rancho Grande, and also another movie night in February. And then early March, we have Carnival, so it's coming right up, which is exciting. We're also part of the Fred Meyer Rewards if anyone wants to add Jewell. Yes.
What's going to happen with Penny Wars this year? Have we considered, because like there's no more pennies being made, and do we think this is still going to be a thing?
We have not talked about Penny Wars at all. We could right now, though, if you want to.
I don't know how that would go, or even what you would do for that. I was just more so
We could change it to
curious.
what?
Coin something.
Yeah.
Coin challenge.
Yeah.
Something with change.
Yeah.
It's almost like it could still be Penny War, but like Nickel War or something.
Yeah.
I just don't know, like, would you be able to go to the bank and like get pennies?
We did for book fair and they had no problem.
And they were fine?
Yeah. They
I'm
didn't
guessing
mention it at
this
all.
year's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Next year's
next
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking is next year we might like look at redoing it, but I feel like this year.
They're so pretty.
Yeah, they didn't say
That's kinda
anything to me.
It is. It is.
I didn't realize that they weren't making that.
Yeah.
Am I the only one? You didn't know that either, okay. Apparently we're just like, heads down.
I think they stopped it like
Yeah, they're
2 months ago.
Doing away with pennies.
I think that's a great move, I just didn't know that.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it costs more to make a penny than it's worth.
Yeah.
Which
That
makes
makes sense,
sense.
right, right,
Yeah.
okay, interesting.
I was doing challenge the other day and like we just gave me a goal instead of the presents.
Do we want to try and pilot something just to set up for the following year, or is that just too much?
I know that in terms of strategy, 4th and 5th grade, often coached by the teachers, have a strategy of like, you know, the pennies and cash goes into ours and we hold back and we don't like take away from the other classes until late in the week. And so there's some strategizing there. But for the younger kids, it's all about just giving them money. And so they just, like if it was all positives and it's a race to see who has the most, you could probably simplify it and it wouldn't lose too much.
Right.
But if you also just chose one coin and said, these are negatives, so if you're like quarters are negatives, so you're putting negatives, quarters in other people's bin, everything else is positive in your own bin, you could pick something like that.
Yeah.
But it would, you could do the pilot anything. The kids, I don't think the kids are gonna remember all the rules all the way well enough to be like, wait a minute, this is different. And we could say it's different because pennies are.
Okay.
That wouldn't be
I
hard.
think this year, I think we should just.
Keep it.
We can,
could
I mean, we could, it's
talk about
almost
it,
like
but-
a worth more,
Yeah.
give a higher value now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be interesting, like you get more points
If you have,
for pennies.
or you just do all change and then like paper or online donations, like that's how you can plus and minus.
Johnny said, on the same level as about bringing in loose change, so I think keeping it as penny wars would be good.
Our kids really care about the plus and minus.
We can also talk about it more in January too, so it'll be before that happens. Thanks.
We have 3 December birthdays today with our staff, Steve Chavez, April Cavolabi, and Jamie Ruiz. Jamie's here tonight. If you see her, tell her happy birthday next week. We delivered some goodies into the big group for them today. So happy birthday to you 3. We have a few volunteer opportunities, namely Carnival. We're still looking for a head of games committee and a head of a volunteer committee. Those really entail games, going through all of our old games, seeing what we need to replace, and what we need new, getting prizes for those games. And then for the volunteer coordinator, that involves just being the one to contact our volunteers, such as the ROTC and the Key Club, and then day of just helping coordinate and tell all the volunteers where they're going, where they need to be, and what their jobs are. Otherwise, we've had our first Carnival Committee meeting, went really well. We've got the ball rolling on a lot of things. We are still looking for any volunteers who want to join the committee in any of the committees. And I believe signups, did we print signups today?
No, it's just online now.
Just online now? Okay.
You can also email us if you want to be
Okay, if
added.
you have any questions too. And then Carnival event volunteers for day of, we're also looking for. And then as always, looking for lunch and office help, you can sign up on the PTO website. There's Facebook links and in our monthly emails. I'm sorry, I'll add to do your background checks too before you volunteer.
So for the treasurer report, if you guys want to flip towards the back of your packet there, you've got the report there. We had a pretty much quiet month in November, not too much happening expense-wise. So we finished up our teacher stipends and we had bingo night, which our prizes and snacks and beverages were there. We did trophies, that's for the mini Mutter, the $94.95 there. General fund request, we paid out the author visit, so the OBOB author that came and visited, we paid that, and then got some of the Globetrotter supplies for the first graders going. And then if you flip over to the income side, Pretty standard there. Wrapped mini mutter up and brought in $104 at bingo, which we didn't budget to bring anything in for bingo night. We're letting those evenings be just donations, so that was nice. And then Cafe Yum Tour of the Town came out to $149.67 for us. So yeah, our account balance for currently is $75,552. For the PTO, the playground fund is $21,252.11. No changes were happening on that fund except for interest that was earned. And then the fifth grade celebration fund, as of December 3rd, was $160.38. That has changed now. Like just started getting some donations coming through. So, and then our projected end of the year account balance there is projected possibly to be around $45,000. At the end of the year. Any questions?
This isn't a question necessarily for this month. I wasn't here last month and I had seen, and it's such a short number, little number, it's not even that big of a deal, but it said fifth grade expense. There was like an expense. Do you happen to know what that was or?
Last year, there was 2 checks that hit this fiscal year in July.
Okay.
And so there's expenses from July that are just showing in this year, right? Because this is fiscal year.
Okay, do we want to start with Rebecca, since Jesse's chatting over there, or do you want to go? Okay.
So not too much to update. I mean, we're all looking forward to winter break. Hopefully a little bit of snow. The big thing that we have coming up in January is the Youth Truth Survey is going to be coming out again. And so we will have some communication about that. And hoping that we get lots of feedback from parents. To kind of recap last year, so for those who don't, does anybody not know what the Youth Truth Survey is? Awesome. Okay, so I won't recap what the Youth Truth Survey is, but last year's results from the parents showed that our 2 highest areas was relationships and culture, school culture. And that is encouraging because that's something that we focus a lot on, is trying to make sure that everybody feels like they belong at Jewell. And for the last couple of years, we've really been working on our dignity work and making sure that the way that everybody is treating each other from adult to adult and adult to child and child to child is being respectful and honoring other people. So that shows that that work is continuing to be beneficial. Our lowest area was communication and feedback is the category. And that's something that we've been working on that for a couple of years and we continue to work on, and it continues to be a focus for us. Some of the steps we've taken to try and address that from last year into this year, and so we'll be curious to see how our results are for this next survey, are that we are kind of have shifted our open house from just being a meet and greet to actually having some content that the teachers are sharing about what the kids are learning during the school year, projects they're going to be working on, information like that. So that's a little bit of a change. We are really leaning into trying to use Seesaw in every classroom and trying to communicate back to parents so that parents can see, one, what students are working on. So it's not just hey, this field trip is coming up, but oftentimes it'll also be we're working on this unit, we're working on this skill, or sometimes even it'll highlight student work so the kids can take a video of themselves and that can be sent to parents. So hopefully you start to see some of that coming through. I've started with Kayla's help creating like an office blog that goes out to parents. So each month that blog comes out and is information that's sharing what's going on in the school, but then also upcoming things. This next blog you'll see has a link to and kind of a letter about the Youth Truth Survey. So encouraging parents, and then we'll have Seesaw messages throughout the month encouraging parents to take the survey. And the district is working on using Parent Square starting in the new year. I'm guessing it's going to be delayed a little bit just because often with technology rollouts, they're a little bit delayed. But Parent Square is my understanding of it is that it's something that will replace the BL Connect app that we all have that tells us when there's a school delay or a snow day or other important information. And it will allow parents to choose, do they want to get things as through the app? Do they want to get things as a text, or do they want to get things as an email, or all three? And then teachers can start using that as well for communication. And it has a lot of features that we can use for communicating with parents about things. So with all of those things that we're continuing to use this year, our hope is that we see a little bit of movement on communication and feedback from parents. But we are definitely open to ideas and suggestions. If there's something that parents are wanting to hear more from their teachers, we would want to know that. And we can start working on plans to make sure that kind of information is being shared as well. That's kind of our big upcoming thing that have everyone on there, put it on everyone's radar.
I like the blog. That makes sense.
Good. Yeah, we try to keep it as simple as kind of as direct as possible, because often those can turn into a scroll where you're just going and going and going. And then we know all of us are busy, and so we read about the first 3 things maybe, and then we are done. So we try to keep it straight to the point.
Jesse, is there like an action plan that comes out of that feedback? So just kind of think of it like as a loop. Like I have to do a similar exercise with my team at work where I'll review their results and then I'll put together a plan and say, these are my initiatives. Do you do something similar based on that survey results and then communicate back to say, this is what the parents have to say. Here's kind of what I'm thinking that we can improve or how we can improve these scores. Like, is there any of that comes back around?
Yeah, so we have a staff survey that is given, and a parent survey that's given, and then in the middle school, high school, there's a student survey that's given. We don't have that in elementary. But once the survey is done, then we, as a whole staff, review the data and kind of deep dive into it. What does this mean? What are things? And then we start coming up with plans of how we can address some of that. And so that's what came out of is kind of the different ways to address the communication and feedback, and that's our lowest score, and ways for us to do a little bit better as a staff and as a school. Yeah.
Does that ever make it back to the parents? Like if the parents are the ones being or providing the feedback, like are they also getting that like, hey, we've reviewed it as a team or as a staff and here's kind of what we're thinking for the plan ahead? Like, does that ever make it back?
Yeah, so we sent out, last year, we sent out a couple messages about that to parents. Like, this is what you told us and this is our plan for how to address that. And then I remember I shared with this group again at I think it was probably in the spring of last year.
Cool.
Got a little bit more detailed at this meeting and a little bit more like, here's a summary or an overview for all the parents.
Got it. Cool. Thank you.
Yep. That's all I have for this.
Thank you.
Yep.
Rebecca, do you have anything?
Yeah, well, yes. So you can see on this wall, our first grade team is displaying some of the cultural competency work that we're doing thanks to the Globetrot funds from PTO, and the kids are really enjoying it. So it's been, I've noticed also students stopping to read it now that we're doing this kind of display as a team in the hall. So I'm hoping it's been educational and interesting for the rest of the students as well. And Beat Theater is, I think, the only 2 grade levels left to do our parts are first grade and kindergarten, and first grade is scheduled for January. And there's some scheduling stuff going on, but I think kindergarten will be done in February. So my hope is that we'll have the final video product in March, maybe even for the March Assembly. Maybe.
Thank you. Mike, for brief playground update?
Sure. Not much has really changed since the last update. Still kind of at a standstill from a fundraising perspective until the district finalizes their policy and approach to how they process donations and fundraising. Last other kind of pending item was based on, what we had updated last time was we resubmitted a new design proposal to the district that's just kind of more in line with what their requirements and their feedback was. Jesse, not to put you on the spot, but I think, we had just kind of asked you own that part, or at least collect feedback. I don't know if you have any update, for the team here, but that's kind of where we're standing. We're just kind of waiting to hear back from the district on their thoughts on the updated proposal, updated design, so.
Yeah, I communicated with Tammy Doty a little bit about it and have a little bit of information, but it would just be something for me to share with the smaller group at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in terms of that, website's still live. Encourage everyone to go visit. Again, thank you, Elena, for all your hard work there. And then eventually, once the district kind of finalizes their policy around fundraising, our intention will be to eventually start to do our outreach and begin a fundraise for the project, assuming the design gets approved. So that's where we stand.
Thanks. Shelby, anything for membership?
The only thing I have to share is that we tallied up the memberships, and Mrs. Jager's class won the pizza party for most memberships. Debs came in second, Fitz came in third.
Okay, thanks. So mascot updates, I filed a few reports online, and then Haley is mostly doing the work researching, and I'm contacting one company, and hopefully next month we'll present a few options to everybody with some pricing.
Yeah, just today I got back 2 quotes and 1 like art mock-up that looks super cute. And so I'll compile those as the rest of them come in, and we can do a good, better, best option for folks. But so far, 7,800 and then 9,000 are the 2 quotes. So chew on that. For a mascot. Yeah. And they're like, the full meal deal, with everything included, so, yeah.
And would you say that that's like the best option, the 9K or 70 to 90K?
It's the most expensive.
The most expensive.
But, all the companies that I've worked with, their customer service reps have been, like, I'm dealing with one person the whole time, like, they're super reputable. So I'm just the more back and forth that I have with these people and all the documentation and, they have like their whole timeline spread out, and it's confidence inspiring that I think any one of them would probably be a good option.
Nice.
So we'll just see where the rest of the quotes and like artwork come in, because some might be cooler than others. Currently, some of the bigger questions that they were asking me was, do we want it to wear a t-shirt and shorts? And because the example that I gave them had that, and I thought it was kind of cute to wear like a navy t-shirt and navy shorts and then have the school logo on the shirt. And it was the bilingual logo. I thought that seemed like the best option. Do we want sneakers or paws for feet? That's another thing to consider. And besides that, there was just like little onesies and twosies, but just make a best judgment call there.
I like the idea of it having a shirt and shorts. I feel like it just eliminates a lot of questions and comments, and it just makes it a little more school appropriate. So, yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Good call.
Okay.
Thanks, Haley.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are not going to review the reading group chair pockets because they're all sick, because everyone's sick now. So we'll look at that in January. So the new business I have for tonight is book fair. The Scholastic Book Fair we had last week. We, in sales, it was $8,699.61. So that equates to $2,174.09 in cash, or $4,349.81 in scholastic dollars for books. Or the third option is for splitting those funds up between the two. So can I get a first and second motion to open it for discussion? Jen and Mike, thanks. Let me add one more thing. I did put a survey out to staff, and We got 2 votes for saving it for staff funding requests, that'd be the $2,000. We got 1 vote for books for classrooms, which is the $4,000 in books, and we got 1 vote for splitting it. So that's where we're at. We have 2 staff people here. So yeah, let me know any thoughts about it.
Do the teachers feel like that would be money well spent on new books, or is that not really a need?
If I had to guess, I would say that probably isn't a huge need. I think
Okay.
the one area where we would love, and I don't know that Scholastic is the right place to get this, is to expand our Spanish library in our library space.
I gotcha.
But from what I've seen, I'm not super impressed with the selection of Scholastic's Spanish language books. Do you have a?
Yeah,
Sense.
agreed. They're not really authentic Spanish books. And so, as the votes will probably indicate, some teachers will probably love that idea and need to fund their libraries, and others are like, we go to other sources.
It's a crap selection.
Yeah,
Teachers don't
it's
have much to
very
choose
limited.
from.
Hmm.
There's like
But especially with the Spanish,
50
like
books,
Scholastic in
it's not
general
much.
is
Limited.
limited, and then being a dual immersion school.
Well, and
Spanish
what
books.
we found out last year is that the teachers can pay like $5 for a book, but going
Right.
through Scholastic on our end, it's like $19.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like they totally mark
That's
it
right, I
up.
forgot about
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
So yeah, last year we had the teachers do a wish list, and they had like a certain amount that they could spend. And so I think their wish, let's say, was $100 that they could spend, so the teacher selected, and then when it came to PTO, it was like $300 for each because the price was different. So what
Ridiculous.
they saw added up to 100, what we saw added up to more. So I would almost say we just go with the cash, and then you can choose to do with it as you wish. But yeah, it's kind of my sense.
We could also take the cash and split it for staff to buy books wherever they want. Like, we could give them some money.
It might almost make sense to do that because then you guys can buy it at your price. Is that something that you guys would be able to do? If they were to give you the money and then you buy it at your price?
Yeah.
I mean, then
I
you,
mean, we all have memberships in Scholastic.
yeah. Yeah, it almost makes the most sense.
Seems
They
like the
do
most flexible option to get the most bang for a book.
Could it be something where like you put up a sign-up sheet and we could do like one large staff request for books, and they could just write the book they want in the classroom, and then we could go and find a good price wherever with the money, like, rather than just giving, I don't know. It might make it where some teachers want 10 books or some want 10 of one book or whatever, but if you just all put it on one sheet, we could then go and find the best price we could find and use cash to pay for it that way.
Well, and some teachers don't even want books.
That's what I'm saying,
They're
then
like,
it makes
I'm
it,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we could vote on taking the cash tonight, and then I could follow up again and see how much interest there is in books, just generally. I think I stole that. Actually, I'll pass it around this way. Does that sound okay to everyone to vote on cash, taking the cash tonight?
I think so.
Sorry, yes or no for taking all the cash from Scholastic, which again is $2,174.09. Or actually, it might be 90 cents, sorry.
Sorry, I'm
Yes.
confused. What is a yes vote?
Yes means yes, we will take the cash and not do the Scholastic dollars. No means you don't want to take all of it in cash. Thanks for asking. Did that make sense?
Did the teacher that said they wanted Scholastic, do you know what they want?
I don't. I know who it is.
But I think, just to add another thing, I think that's the point of, if you gave the money to the teacher, they could go use their account and get maybe twice as many
Yes.
books through Scholastic
Yeah,
as
yeah,
you
which
guys
is
ordered it.
funny because if you do it through Scholastic, they give you twice as much money.
Twice as much
They
money,
charge you twice
exactly.
as much,
Yep.
3 times as much.
I feel like even if they didn't want to like spend it for Scholastic, they
Yeah.
could put it towards like their personal like classroom, like the stipends.
Yeah,
I mean,
supplies or whatever.
whatever they need. Yeah, I mean, just, it's not gonna be as much money, but let them decide what they want.
Yeah, for our DI teachers, they'd be able to go and find, Spanish language books.
Yeah.
So it's hard to
I
find.
do
Which
think,
are harder to find, yeah. And I take issue with like Scholastic used to have a lot more available and they had Club Leo and they canceled that. And so almost sort of, for me, is in principle, I'm like, I'll take my business elsewhere.
yeah. Hey, Jessie, you should ask Jessica if she's willing to put like a wish list together for Spanish books or books that she might
For the
need.
library?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I mean, it's a library, everybody uses it, and then she can come and present it.
I was gonna say, could we do a survey to the teachers and see if they would like to split that cash up, like, between themselves, or if they would like it to?
Yeah, the other thing that I'm thinking about, that we should talk about, is that non-teaching staff also made wish lists. And so I would need to try to gather how many people that would be. I did ask Keela, but I haven't heard back yet.
Johnny had a comment here. She says, is it possible to get cash but earmark it for books at a reasonable price? Would that make the money go further than Scholastic? Sound like the consensus was yes.
Yeah, I think the money will just sit, we'll accept it, and then we'll follow up and figure out how we want to spend it. We'll bring it back next month.
And I don't know if we shared this with the whole group, but at the end of the book fair, we took what we had from last year's leftover Scholastic funds and we bought one book for every classroom and specials, and we bought their one book from their wish list.
Yeah.
As well, just.
Yeah, and that included Jessica Ryan, I think was her name.
Jess Ryan.
Jess Ryan, yeah,
By
so
Jess.
just like, so there may be more than just teachers, is what I'm trying to say, who would want some of the money to get books or something. But it passed a unanimous yes, so thank you. And anything else that anyone wants to talk about tonight?
I'm getting nervous about volunteer count for Carnival. I don't know what it costs y'all to like, I'm happy to design it, like a bilingual flyer to go home in backpacks.
They will definitely go out, yeah, that's.
Okay,
That is happening.
okay, great.
Yes, 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 but just, we'll have a flyer for requesting volunteers with a link and.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I'm sure people will be more receptive to that after the new year as well. But I'm just like, oh no.
We did have someone sign up for cotton candy this week, so.
Oh, someone did?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, well, it's okay now.
Never eat another bite of cotton candy, it'll be too soon.
When you get the translated flyer, if you want to modify like a slightly different design, but maybe the same information and give it to us in a digital format, we can push that out through Seesaw from the office as well to try and get more people. What we have found is that for coming out through Seesaw, if there's also a link, so we do the image and then we have a little bit of text that has a clickable link, that has more success than if we have a QR code, because people are viewing it from their phone and there's no other way to get another device. Well, it's difficult to get another device to scan the QR code on your
Jesse,
device.
can I teach you something real quick?
Yeah.
If you are on your phone looking at a QR code, if you take a screenshot of it and go into your photos, you can click on the QR code from your
I did not
photos.
know that.
No.
I just learned this last year,
Second
so
thing I
yes,
learned.
yes.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. I had no idea.
but I can understand that not everybody knows that and stuff, but just that I.
Now I know.
It's a
Spread the
fun
word.
piece of information I learned last year.
You'll get a lot more people as it gets closer though.
Yeah.
Like, it's so far, I know it's so stressful, but it's so far away and people don't know what their schedules are,
Yeah,
you know?
It's true.
And so I wouldn't stress.
And that was true last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was like not a lot of people signed up to volunteer
Yeah.
until it got much closer.
And a lot of people stay for like longer than what they anticipated. Or people like me, I don't sign up because I don't know what I'm doing, but if I'm available, like I'll just show up and be like, where do you need me? Like Mini Munner, and sure, I didn't sign, but I was there. You know. I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Okay, cool.
You'll be
It does
fine.
seem like a lot of volunteers are needed.
Yeah.
So I would panic too.
It was a small army, and all of those people were necessary, it felt like to me, so,
Mhm. Definitely was.
yeah.
The cadets are already scheduled,
Great.
and
Yeah, they're
the
awesome.
teachers will sign up as well, right? Most likely? Okay.
There, some, yeah. So, the teachers are able to sign up for evening events, and so some are signing up to do the art fair at the end of the year, some will be signing up to do carnival, some have signed up to do other events that we've already had. But yeah, there will be some teachers signing up to help out.
Well, and our 5th grade has our first, not sealed by literacy, but the practice for sealed by literacy. And so we'll be on panels for that as well. So the DI that's another evening event for DI teachers.
They can sign up for it.
Jesse, I obviously don't know what was talked about last month, but I did see notes in here about that second crosswalk over there, and concerns. I don't know how you fix that problem, but if Darren could learn how to park and park a little bit farther back.
Is there talking about the crosswalk over here?
Oh, no, this one. Oh, you weren't here?
I wasn't, but I
Okay,
heard, I
so
heard
this-
some of what was talked about.
Yeah, so this crosswalk, now that all these kids are like walking, it's hard, it really is hard to see them. I mean, they just freaking come out of nowhere and you're like, you know?
Right.
And I noticed Darren today, and I don't mind telling him this myself if I need to, but he doesn't friggin' pull like all the way to the back. He's like parked forward more. And so I don't know if that would help alleviate that problem or if he even parks like that every day. I have no clue. But it is kind of hard it was today because of how he was parked. And I was like, you just gotta, how do we fix that problem over there?
Are we talking about, I just want to make sure I'm clear, the far
Yes.
side as you're going almost into the neighborhood? Like
Yeah.
as you're getting towards the sidewalk into the neighborhood?
Yeah, like as you're leaving our parking lot.
Where Jill is usually,
Yeah.
or what do you
Oh,
mean?
yeah. Is she over there after school?
After
Yeah.
school,
Yeah.
she stays
Yeah.
there, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we actually, I just had a meeting with our downtown safety team because my growing concern is the final house is going in right next to that path.
Mm-hmm.
Only the foundation is there right now, but by end of Christmas break, the building will probably be there, and then pretty soon the fence is gonna be put in. And as soon as they put the fence in, my worry is that we're gonna have kids coming, excited to get to school in the morning, coming down and either riding bikes or running, and then cars are coming, you can't see them until
Yeah.
about 3, I think it's maybe 5 feet before they're in the crosswalk. And so we are talking about some options. One of the options is to put a stop sign for the cars that are coming, to pause right there. And even if we get 80% of cars to stop, then that's 80% safer than if we have nothing there. So that's something that we're looking at, of how do we make sure that it's slowing traffic down. Another thing we've talked about, which is a bigger project, is actually raising the crosswalk. So have it go up almost like an extended speed bump, where it goes up a bit and then flat for the kids to walk on and then down a bit, as a possibility to slow traffic down right there, where they can't be seen as quickly or as easily. So that's something that we're kind of looking at options and looking at the cost of what things would cost. And that
I
kind of
didn't think about the fence because right now you can see if
Yeah.
they're
You can
coming.
see, right,
Yeah.
it's incoming, but
Yeah.
my concern is that that fence is gonna go in probably in the next 2 months, and then we won't be able to see the kids as they're coming through. So, and it may be something that we also we have in the past, and we haven't right now had someone positioned out in that crosswalk area in the mornings. But that may be something that we would position somebody out there, either myself or Eric. And in the past, it's always been to get the kids across from median to the school. But that is my bigger concern, is that pathway, especially in the
Yeah.
morning coming in. So we probably have someone positioned out there.
Would it be a viable option? You know what they do in Sisters? They have those flags that you can walk to one side.
No, I haven't seen it.
Because there's
Yeah.
10 million crosswalks in Sisters.
You take the flag with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a little thing that you just put it in there when you're on the other side, and
And
I don't know, you might need too many flags in the morning.
That's something I hadn't thought of.
I don't know.
But
Well,
I
I
did
did
some
some
research on that, and one I found was like 8 flags. It was $200, and it had like a pole on each side, and it came with 8 flags, and they're like, the reflective orange ones.
Right.
But the thing is, I don't know if kids would actually leave the flag there, but it would help both ways. Like you could take it with you either side, just to make you more visible. Because I've been worried about it. I'm like, I don't want to hit a kid, right? Like,
Yeah.
and
All
I'm
of
careful, I'm cautious, but they go fast, and as soon as that fence is up, you have no warning. You're gonna just be in the.
So it would be where the kids would take the flag, someone would walk and hold it up, and walk across, and then put it in the station on the other
Yeah.
side.
And it would teach the kids to slow down.
Right.
Right.
Grab it. Yeah, I think they would want to do it. At least the little would be excited to carry a flag over. which-
And every year, I like that idea. Every year, Commute Options comes and does lessons with the kids of, how to ride bikes safely, how to follow, traffic laws, how to cross the street, safely. So that would be something easily that they could teach the kids how to do as they're going across. Yeah. Just that made me think of another thing that I talked with. So at the last meeting, and I only know this because Eric filled me in, there were some concerns about kids getting safely to the bike rack over here at the edge of Seeds Field. So I called that parent, talked through the issue with him, then went out and walked it with our Commute Options person. And for anybody who doesn't come through that direction, there's a bottleneck at the side of the gate where people are walking and kids are trying to ride bikes. Right now, kids can kind of go across the dirt lot, but eventually, again, there's going to be a house built there. And so trying to figure out a safe way, one for bikes to get into our area without going on the sidewalk where everyone's trying to walk. So that's one thing that a hurdle we have to figure out. The other one is the sidewalk to get to the bike racks is probably 200, maybe 100 feet of sidewalk where they'd have to go into the street and get to the bike rack or bump up on the sidewalk and probably walk their bike to the bike rack. And right now, neither option feels great to the kids and great to the families. So what we are thinking at this point is that we are going to try having a bike lane barrier. So we'd start with just some cones to see how it works, but basically cordon off a little section of the curve as you're going around past Seeds Field to be a bike lane. So that we have walkers and we have a bike lane, kids can ride their bike to there. And then if that's successful, then we would look at painting a line or lines that would then more permanently designate. The one barrier that we face is, and it would just be teaching people, is that at pickup in the afternoon, we have about 12 cars that park along that curve to pick their kids out and then take them. And so that would just be, once the cones are there, then people wouldn't be parking. We would just have to maybe have someone stationed to remind people you can't park here. And then once the lines are painted, that'd be some teaching that we have to do to families.
Yeah, as I was gonna say, you might need to keep the cones for a while, even once it's painted, because people will just park over the line.
Right. Yeah, we have to have that kind of conversation about coming up into the drop-off zone where people are climbing in. And we've gotten a lot better, but that's taking some teaching.
Jill Johnson mentioned at the last meeting, and we were talking about it too, that the school district owns the easement between the fence of the houses and the parking lot. And we talked to, she just mentioned something about like we could gravel right there and then have the crosswalk, the second crosswalk up, that's like further that Mrs. Jones means at the end of the day, that walk, and bikes could come that way.
So you're talking about from like the entrance to our driveway, that direction?
Well, from, I mean, both really, but like from the new housing development over there, just like, I think it's like probably 7 feet of easement between their fences and our parking lot.
Okay.
And she said that the school district actually owns that and that we could like gravel that and bikes could come in that way and then cross at that
Yeah,
further
come
up
down to that.
crosswalk, yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
The option.
This might have been like a Scott thing, I don't know, because COVID and I didn't really know Scott that well. But so Scott used to go out every single morning and was out there and helped guide traffic. And I mean, was that just a hymn preference, like why don't we do that anymore? Because that might help alleviate over here with the kids.
In the morning, you mean?
Yeah, like there's nobody out in the morning.
Actually, that was me that was out there when Scott was here. He was at the gate. And
Okay, yeah.
He would wait at the gate where I wait now, and then I would be out here. We've had Eric kind of at different positions, and that may be where we need, especially when that fence goes up.
Yeah,
That may be something that we have, one of us is at the gate, one of us is out in the parking lot doing.
or even for a little bit, so the kids can like get to,
Yeah, totally.
get to know that.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't
yeah.
know.
That's something we've thought about.
Well, I don't know. Okay, there's been a police officer here. Is that by himself? He's doing that by himself?
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think that's amazing.
Yeah, that's just, so we have an SRO, and then we have other police officers who are encouraged to just, when they have, on patrol and they have a little bit of time, to just come by and get to know the kids a little bit and be present. And so, yeah, that's just on their own.
The main guy that comes, I don't know what his name is, but he does not have a kid here, right?
It's probably Jeremy. He does not have a kid.
Okay.
Actually. Yeah, no, he's our SRO. He's stationed usually over at Caldera, is his main site. But we are one of his schools and we're close by, and so he comes over pretty often.
I've voiced to him, and I think it's great he's coming.
Yeah.
I think
No, he's awesome.
we need that in today's day and world.
I wonder, and I know, again, I'm not able to volunteer for this, but if we had a parent sign up for crosswalk duty or, do you know?
That's happened in the past. We
Yeah.
had one parent who did it almost an entire year,
Wow,
rain or shine.
that's a lot.
Yeah, he's no longer at, his kids are no longer at Jewell. But yeah, if someone wanted to volunteer, that would certainly be an option to have a parent volunteer for that.
I know someone. Why don't you just ask Nick?
Yeah, so I'll tell him he was vulnerable.
You can.
You've been
Let him know I
volunteered to come,
volunteered.
yeah. Jessica volunteered.
It's possible though that there's parents who feel really passionately about it and like they could just pick a day of the week and like Wednesdays it's not a long time commitment, but
Right,
it
it's
is
about
impactful.
15, 20
Yeah.
minutes, yeah.
Yeah, Johnny just said the same thing. She said in the past, parents have been crossing guards just as volunteers.
Yep. We can give them a vest, make it all official and everything, deputize them.
Gotta give them a fun name. It's a fun name.
Is that something that you guys can get a sign up Genius and send that out?
You guys want us to? Sure.
Yeah, if that's something that people are interested in, we'd welcome to help.
How soon do you think we could get a stop sign there?
I don't know. I just had the conversation Tuesday, and so, I don't know how long it would
It
take.
seems like it'd be nice regardless. It seems like people go pretty fast after drop off on that side.
On that side here.
So,
Are there any updates on the water fountain?
Great question. I actually just sent an email. We're hoping over Christmas break.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, there should be this one being replaced and then adding a new one in the activity room.
Renee, if they haven't even gotten to the water fountain, they're not getting to the stop sign anytime
Well,
soon.
actually,
I was gonna say, for student
safety,
yeah.
safety gets priority.
Yeah.
Water fountain has not apparently gotten priority, but yeah.
Yeah.
and would it go faster if we emailed you and said we wanted it?
I don't know that you would need to email. I could certainly say some parents were voicing concern about the same thing I just talked with you about, and that might light a fire.
Okay.
So I can definitely do that.
Well, it sounds like there's different options, so like the stop sign and that little
Yeah, the raised crosswalk is a larger project, and it would probably need to be as part of our bond request when we're looking at kind of our priorities as a school. But the stop sign would be something I think we could do pretty quickly.
Could you do something more like cost effective, at least for now, maybe like a hard rubber speed bump that could just be bolted into the ground? And that way, waiting on bond money or anything like that to do something.
with the stop sign.
With the stop,
With-
yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I hadn't thought of a rubber.
Okay.
All right, anything else? Okay, well, quick-ish meeting, thanks. Happy New Year, happy holidays. See y'all next month.
Thank you.
Okay.
Encourage